Hello, dear students. Today we will discuss ethnic conflict and democracy in Sri Lanka. So let's start our class. We have already seen that Sri Lanka has retained democracy since its independence in 1948, but it faced a serious challenge not from a military or monarchy, but rather from ethnic conflict leading to the demand for secession by one of the religion. As we studied that Sri Lanka got freedom in 1948, and since then it is governed by democracy. And in the way of maintaining democracy, Sri Lanka faced a very serious challenge, and that challenge was not from the military power or any monarchy, but that challenge was from ethnic conflict leading to the demand for secession by one of the religions of Sri Lanka, and that was Tamil. After its independence, politics in Sri Lanka, it was then known as Ceylon, was dominated by forces that represented the interest of the majority Sinhala community. Since its independence, Sri Lanka was governed by the majority, the majority community of Sri Lanka, that was Sinhala community. And we also know that the old name of Sri Lanka is Ceylon, and the then Ceylon was governed by Sinhala community. They were hostile to large number of Tamils who had migrated from India to Sri Lanka and settled there. And due to the government of Sinhala community, people who belong to Sinhala community, they started hostilization of Tamils who migrated from India to Sri Lanka, and they also settled there, and those Tamils were hostile by the Sinhala community, and this migration continued even after independence. The Sinhala nationalists thought that Sri Lanka should not give concession to the Tamils because Sri Lanka belongs to the Sinhala people only. And the people of Tamil origin also continued their migration to Sri Lanka. And in Sri Lanka, Sinhala nationalists thought that Sri Lankan government should not give any help, any concession to the Tamil people, and they considered that Sri Lanka belongs to Sinhala community, not Tamils. That's why there were several problems which were created by Sinhala community for Tamils. The neglect of Tamil concerns led to militant Tamil nationalism. From 1983 onwards, the militant organization, the Liberation Tiger of Tamil Ilm Litte, has been fighting an armed struggle with the army of Sri Lanka and demanding Tamil Ilm or separate country for the Tamils of Sri Lanka. The Litte controls the northeastern part of Sri Lanka. And when the neglecting process for the Tamils and hostilization of Tamils started by the Sinhala community, then there was an organization, Liberation Tigers of Tamil Ilm, was framed by some people, and that organization started its fighting against Sri Lankan army, and it also started its demand for the separate nation for Tamils, and they also provided the name of that separate nation Tamil Ilm. And Litte, liberation tiger of Tamil Ilm, at that time controlled the northeastern part of Sri Lanka. And the Sri Lankan problems involves people of Indian origin and other inconsiderable pressure from the Tamil people in India to the effect that the Indian government should protect the interests of Tamils in Sri Lanka. As we know that Sri Lankan problem also involved the Tamil people. That's why there was a lot of pressure over the government of India by the Tamil people who especially live in Tamil Nadu in India to protect the interests of Tamil people in Sri Lanka. And in response, government also had taken many steps to protect the interests of those Tamil people who migrated from India to Sri Lanka. The government of India has from time to time tried to negotiate with the Sri Lankan government on the Tamil question. Indian government several times tried to negotiate and solve the problem which was specially for Tamil people. But in 1987, the government of India for the first time got directly involved in the Sri Lankan Tamil question. But it was the year of 1987 when Indian government directly involved in the question of interests of Sri Lankan Tamils. And India signed an accord with Sri Lanka and sent troops to stabilize relations between the Sri Lankan government and the Tamils. Eventually, the Indian army got into fight with the Litte, and the presence of Indian troops was also not liked much by Sri Lankans. They saw this as an attempt by India to interfere in the internal affairs of Sri Lanka. In 1989, the Indian Peacekeeping Force IPKF pulled out of Sri Lanka without attaining its objective. Time to time, India signed agreements with the Sri Lankan governments and trying to solve the issue which was related to Sri Lankan Tamils. And eventually, India also sent India's troop to settle the matter. But when Indian peacekeeping force was in Sri Lanka, eventually it got involved in the fighting against Litte. And in 1989, the force was that Indian peacekeeping force was pulled out of Sri Lanka, as Sri Lankans thought that by sending the force, India is trying to affect its internal affairs. That's why Sri Lankan leaders did not support this effort of India, and they pulled out Indian peacekeeping force out of Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan crisis continued to be violent. However, international actors, particularly the Scandinavian countries such as Norway and Iceland, tried to bring the warring group back to negotiations. And in this way, crisis continued in Sri Lanka to be violent. However, some international countries like Scandinavian countries, Norway and Iceland, they tried to pacify the issue, they tried to negotiate, and they also tried to make a stable government in Sri Lanka. Finally, the armed conflict came to an end as the Lite was vanquished in 2009. Finally, the conflict was ended when the Lite was abolished in 2009. In spite of conflict, Sri Lanka has registered considerable economic growth and recorded high levels of human development. In spite of conflict between Lite and Sri Lankan army, Sri Lanka also registered high levels of human development, recorded high and considerable economic growth. Sri Lanka was one of the first developing country to successfully control the rate of growth of population, the first country in region to liberalize the economy, and it has had the highest per capita gross domestic product GDP for many years, right through the civil war. And some other things are that when Sri Lanka was going through the civil war, it maintained highest per capita income, highest that is called GDP for many years in this region. And Sri Lanka is the first country in South Asian who liberalized its economy, and it is also the first country who successfully controlled the growth of population increment. And despite the ravages of international conflict, it has maintained the democratic political system. Despite many problems, international pressure, international conflict, internal pressure, Sri Lanka maintained a democratic political system in it. So it is the great example of democratic system that is produced by Sri Lanka. So dear students, today we studied about Sri Lanka. In next class we will study India-Pakistan conflicts. Keep watch this video from the beginning till end, and if you have any doubt you can ask me. And thank you for watching this video.